Hey guys, this is Chauncey from Good Music to Know. Today I'm joined by an artist whose music completely stopped me in my tracks the first time I heard it. Her voice is tender and sharp all at once. Her lyrics hold so much emotional weight, and her visuals are just as intentional and striking. Her music feels like a dream you want to write down before it fades. With songs like Grab the Bull, I Want It All, and If I Were a Fish, Ullah blends softness with power and honesty, and we are beyond thrilled to have her on the show today.
That was an amazing intro. Oh my gosh. I need to keep that for myself. Oh my God. Beautiful. Thank you so much for the compliment.
Yeah, of course. So let's start maybe with I Want It All song. Well, sorry, I Want It All. Yeah. So this was the song I was actually introduced to your music through. This song definitely captures it's such an emotional cocktail. I feel like there's like childhood longing and there's confusion and there's fear and hope. So what was going on in your headspace when you created this song?
I had been traveling. I was traveling in Europe, and as like all Australians do, whenever you go to Europe, you go for at least 2 months because it's just so far away. And I didn't have like any means of I didn't have a guitar or anything, but I had this like really intense desire and wish and drive to do music, but just like no ability to do anything. It was like this really weird feeling of feeling stuck. Yeah, it was just like this really intense want to be able to do it and be able to like write music again. And I was listening to Need To by Pinegrove. Do you know?
Oh my goodness, that song is on repeat constantly.
It's such a good song, and it was on repeat.
But it's so simple, and there's not that many lyrics, but it's so impactful. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
100%. And I was listening to it over and over and over again, and I was just like writing. And I ended up writing a lot of the lyrics, just like listening to, especially the intro of that song, just like over and over again. Because I think it does have that, like, it's such an emotional song. I don't know how they've created it, but it's like an amazing song. Yeah, I think that was like my headspace of what I was at. And I also really wanted it to be a song that, like, I love that feeling of watching someone play and like having that craving to sing with them. And you know, when like the crowd is singing, it just feels like really good. And I feel like it's a pretty universal feeling of just like wanting it all, or, you know, wanting your wishes and dreams to come true. So yeah, I think that's what was my feeling in my headspace at the time.
Yeah. Do you think your music is how you give power to yourself? I only asked that because I think one of the lyrics in I Want It All, I think I wrote it down. It says, the lyric is also definitely beautiful and a little bit heartbreaking, but it says asking someone to give you the power to know. Yeah, I love that lyric, by the way. So I was just curious, like, do you think music is how you give that power to yourself?
I think so. I think 100%. I think music is like such an amazing way of being able to communicate. And I think communication is power. So yeah, definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah, very cool. And then the other song I listened to and also watched the music video for, which I love, was If I Were a Fish. So I feel like the metaphor of being a fish in itself is so layered. It's like vulnerable and slippery and then commodified. So what drew you to that image, and what does it represent like to you in the song?
If I'm completely honest, when I wrote the song, I was hanging out with some of my bandmates, and I was like playing those chords over and over again. I was like, give me 2 words. And one of them said fish and one of them said sun. And the song came together that way. I'm so glad they said it because, yeah, there's just like so many amazing metaphors, like as you said before, that come with it. But I think also in terms of like if I were a fish, it's just that whole thing of like, if I was to morph myself into something completely different, would you like finally accept me?
Yeah. I really like the song. And then I think one of my favorite songs, well, I actually like all your songs, but my like favorite that I go back to again and again is Grab the Bowl. I love it.
Really?
Yeah, I love that song so much.
Oh my gosh, I don't even play it anymore at gigs.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, no. I've lost my love for it, but I'm always surprised when people have love for it. Yeah.
I think that's my like favorite song. Like I think I listened to that song this morning like 15 times.
Really?
I love it.
Oh my God, what a compliment. Thank you.
Yeah, it's so powerful. And then I was gonna ask, like, from the music video plus the lyrics, it feels like Grab the Bull kind of like it's a balance between emotional surrender and maybe like being empowered or having like some type of empowerment. So what was the story behind that particular song?
So I think that, I'm not sure if it's a lot of people who do music or the arts, but my internal monologue, it's definitely gotten better, but it used to be like really intensely negative. And it was just like, anytime someone would give me a compliment, it was, well, they're lying. And that's, that's not true. And if someone was giving me critical feedback, which is really important sometimes, it was like a direct attack to the heart. And I think it's just like, yeah, you can't go through life like that. It's a really dangerous way to live. And if you don't believe in yourself, it's so like corny to say, everyone says it. But it's like, if you don't have belief in yourself, then why would I expect anyone else to? Yeah, at the end, I wanted it to be trying to gain that power. I think trying to just like get out of that headspace. Yeah, really intense, negative, conversations in your head. It's like such a bad place to be in.
And I feel like it's definitely probably easier for artists to get into that headspace just because you're so creative and emotional and there's like a bunch of stuff flowing through you. So
yeah, definitely.
Understand.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely think so. And you're also like always just like, it's really crazy to have to like market or like monetize something creative. Yeah. I think it's really hard to find a balance between keeping your mind positive, but also like making sure you're growing and like challenging yourself without getting too negative. And yeah, definitely.
Is that why maybe you don't play that song so much anymore, because it kind of represents maybe more of a negative mindset?
I think so. The recording process wasn't negative at all. I think that you're probably right. I think that I've disconnected myself from it a little bit because it is kind of like, and I definitely have other songs that are a lot more emotional and that are coming out, I guess, like later on. But I think that, I think you're probably right. I just haven't accepted that. That's probably the reason why.
Yeah. Well, another like fun fact, well, it's not really a fun fact, I'm sure people know this, but Kid Cudi, the song Day and Night, like obviously that's like his biggest song, but he won't perform that anywhere either because it reminds him of a period of his life where he used to like drugs and substance abuse and he was in a really negative. So like he also like hates playing that song. So
that's so but songs have such intense like emotional meaning. And when you're singing it like you sung it when you wrote it, which I'm sure it feels the same. I don't know. Yeah. That's super interesting.
I definitely love, even though you don't like to play, I love the Grab Your Bowl music video, and I love your most recent music video about the fish. So where does your creative inspiration come from for these visuals?
The Grab the Ball one was actually, I got reached out to by this amazing director from Adelaide, and she was asking if she could use the song, one of my songs, What Nightmares Are Made Of, in one of her short films. And cool. She was like, in return, if I get to use your song, I'll make a music video for your next song coming out. So she kind of took creative liberty within that music video, and she did an amazing job. She was so amazing. And in terms of If I Were a Fish, I work at my parents' picture framing shop.
Oh, cool.
And I listened to, I'm either like in my headphones listening to Real Housewives, because that's like always on in my life. Like that's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
Or I'm listening to music and just like daydreaming really intensely. And sometimes like if a new song comes through, like If I Were a Fish, when it was finally recorded and I could listen to it, I'll listen to it over and over again and like just try to like visualize what I want people to feel whilst listening to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a super simple music video. It's literally just like me walking and then running. But I feel like I really want it to feel like that. I want it to feel like you're wanting to run at the end. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is very simple, but it's very impactful and like powerful at the same time. So I really liked it. And I like the whole like mid-dress change.
Yeah, dressing. Yeah, cool. Okay, cool.
Really
Thank you.
Are there any artists that have like shaped your approach to songwriting or how you create music?
Oh my gosh, so many. I think in Perth, the music scene is really amazing. It's like a really strong, beautiful music scene. And I remember when I was younger, my mum would take me to these folk festivals and I would watch these artists and just be like, how do they even create that? So I think that like the local music scene, like there's so many amazing like artists called like Claudie Joy and the Joy Boys or Jack Davies and the Bush Chooks, like super beautiful folky musicians. And then also like, I don't think you can hear it on my music, but like Bon Iver, I've always listened to, or Matt Corby, or Alice Phoebe Lou, I've always loved, or Julia Jacqueline. I don't know, there's so many. But those would be like main ones that instantly came to mind who have always really impacted my music.
Yeah. While we're on that topic, who would be some of your dream collabs potentially? Would it be some of the artists you just mentioned or other artists? Who would you pick? Like who would be the ultimate dream collab for you?
it would be crazy with Bon Iver. Like, he's insane. Justin Vernon. He's insane. I don't know how he creates music like that. I don't think I've ever heard someone be able to create emotion in music like that. So even just to be able to like sit and watch him make stuff, I think would be pretty cool. Or like, I love Alice Phoebe. She's I just adore her. So probably either one of them two. They're just insane musicians.
Yeah, I think Bon Iver also just released a new album, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It's been such a long time as well, so I was very excited.
I know.
New music, yes.
It's so good. And it was really fish related. He's like which is super interesting, which is maybe another reason why, you know, we're connected and we should write music together.
Perfect, yeah. And then so like, what are you most excited about right now? It can be maybe musically or personally.
I feel like in the past few months, do you ever have that sense that you're in like a transitional period?
Yes.
Yeah. And I could really feel like it felt like a lot of things were happening in the future, and I had all these like plans and exciting things booked in and cool things that happened in the past, but I was in this like weird thing of like, it felt like I don't know, things were changing. I didn't really know what they were. And I feel like I'm finally kind of out of that. And because of that, I feel like I've got a lot of things I want to write about, which is really exciting. And it makes me feel really good because I love to write, but it doesn't always come so easily. And I think I'm also really excited. We're doing our first headline shows over the east of Australia. And I'm really excited to play in a different place and like be challenged by being in front of new people and people I don't know, and having that fear of like, these aren't my friends. These are people who, you know, like that's scary. That's scary, but exciting and challenging. And challenges are always like really important. So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I know you said you love to write. What is your creative process like? Do you come up with the beat first and then you write, or do you write something down first and then kind of structure the beat around it?
I think it's always been either like write lyrics, like poetry almost. And I like to listen to a lot of instrumental music, especially music that just have like a really intense, like slow, steady, like beat. Like almost like meditation music. I'll like to write to that. And then later on I'll like pick up the guitar. It's always been that way. And then like sometimes it will just happen because, as I said before with Ira Fish, like playing along with the guitar and, you know, and then like a random song will come. But yeah, I feel like it's mainly poetry first.
Yeah. What message or feeling do you hope people walk away with after listening to your songs?
Oh, that's such a great question. I think I feel like all the songs are really different. I feel like with two ones that are in my mind, like one with I Want It All would be to really hold on to that like inner child, like dreaming and wishing, because I feel like that's such a drive and a push forward in life. And I feel like it's such a special feeling to have like that dream and something that gives you butterflies. So yeah, I'd be like finding those little dreams. And then if I were a fish, I watched a video recently and it was on TikTok, and it was this girl and she was speaking about how when she's realized how intensely her voice changes when she's around different people. Like when she goes to order a coffee, her demeanor and her voice completely changes. And then she was like in the video, like, okay, now I'm going to speak how I speak when I speak alone. And then she spoke and she was like, oh, that felt so good. And I feel like we all do that. And I think it's like trying to find those moments in your day when you realize that it is okay just to be completely yourself. And like, you don't have to change your voice or your demeanor. You know, you can just be yourself and it's fine, and people will be accepting. And if they're not, that's fine. It's none of your business. I feel like those are two things that are more like resonating more right now with me.
Yeah. Very cool. And so what's next on the agenda for 2025? I know you mentioned you have a headlining show. Any new music coming out? Any albums? Can we see you in Europe one day?
That's my dream. My dream is actually to live in Berlin, like always. That's always been my dream. Yes. And I went recently and I kind of had that little hope that I would go and I'd be like, no, I don't want to live here. So I wouldn't have that sadness when I have to go back to Australia. Oh. And I was like, oh my gosh, take me back. This year, if I'm being reasonable with myself, it would be, I'm hoping to move to Melbourne, which is in Australia, which has got a really thriving music scene. And for me, I perceive that as a step towards moving to Europe. It's like expanding my Australian audience and finding people in different cities in Australia. And then with like that basis, then I can like move to Berlin and, you know, go from there. And also hopefully releasing an EP, which I'm excited about because I only have like, I don't know, 5 songs on Spotify. And whenever I like love an artist and I go see they've only got 5 songs, I'm like, that is so lame. You know what I mean? Like, give me more, give me more. Yeah, so yeah, I think releasing the EP.
Yeah, yeah. Super cool. Yeah, I think those were the main questions I had for you. Were there any final words that you would like to leave the listeners and your fans with?
Just that I'm really grateful that you wanted to talk to me. That's so cool. And I just hope that everyone finds comfort within themselves, because I feel like comfort's a hard thing to find. And when you find it, it's pretty cool and pretty special. So yeah, I think that's all I would say. Yeah.
You believe I am porcelain.